What's up? What's up? Hope everybody's having a blessed day. But I got something juicy to talk about today. I want to talk about the housing market. So I'm going to get straight to the point. A lot of people have to be careful about what they hear with the housing market. There is such thing as a good time to buy, and there's such thing as a bad time to buy. Right now, it's not a good time to buy a house. As much as some people wish they could buy a house or want to buy a house, it's just not a good time. The housing prices have doubled since 2020, and the interest rates have more than doubled since 2020. So if you want to buy a house today, 2025, compared to 2020, you're going to pay double for it, and then you're going to pay almost 3 times the interest rate just to get the same raggedy house. And if you're looking for a house under 500K, you're probably buying a crappy house. Like, it's a bunch of junk online for sale in a certain price range. It's like people just trying to sell their junk and they won't double what it was from 2020. Haven't did nothing to the house. They just want the price of the market. But you just got to be careful out there. If you looking at houses, or you know somebody that bought in the past 2 years, just simply ask them, are you happy that you bought a house? Are you happy with your house? They might tell you yes, but they don't like that mortgage payment. And right now, with the interest rates, the mortgage payments are higher than the rent prices in most areas. So if you're in a market where the mortgage prices are higher than rent, that right there is a telltale sign that you should not be buying a house. Even if you just want a house so bad, just don't do it. Just don't do it. And by the way, please like and subscribe if you like what I'm talking about, because it'll help YouTube with its algorithm, and they'll let them know that I'm just not on the video just talking a bunch of BS that nobody care about. So hit the like button. It shows YouTube that people love me, and they love what I'm talking about. But yes, the housing market, just be careful. So I own several houses in the past 5 years through different methods. But I just sold my house this year. I have 2 houses, by the way, so I still have one of them. When I sold my house this year, I was more happy about selling it than I was from when I bought it. When I bought this house, it was not good financially. So I can admit it wasn't the best financial decision. But I got lucky because I was able to sell it pretty much at the top of the market. Didn't make nothing on the sale. So I was lucky to even break even just because of the little value increase of the house. I got lucky and it was able to get out break even. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not a good time to buy a house. The best time to buy a house is when the interest rates are low. Point blank. So don't let real estate agents convince you. The news convince you. Like, they have these news stores and they say, oh, there's more houses being sold. There are more houses for sale than buyers. And they tell you, oh, real estate sales is decreasing. But you gotta remember how misleading it is. Just because sales are decreasing, that don't mean the prices are decreasing. There's a difference between sales and prices. The sales are decreasing because less people are buying. We're not at a point where prices are decreasing. Houses are just sitting on the market longer. And it's going to get a lot worse by next year in 2027. Like, the housing market is going to go down. And by the time they lower the interest rates to where people can actually afford to buy houses, people are going to be broke. Nobody's going to be able to afford to buy a house by the time they lower these interest rates. So you got to be careful when people try to tell you, oh, you still should buy a house right now. Like, no, you shouldn't buy a house. It don't make sense to buy a house right now when the mortgages are more than rental prices. Like, just rent for now. Like, just chill out, save money, rent for now. And the inflation alone is probably destroying most people. So you definitely don't want to buy a house when it's supposed to be helping you. And people got to realize there's a difference between an investment and a liability. A house is not an investment unless you gain a return on your money, immediate return on your money, such as cash flow. So if you're not buying it as a rental property or a business property where you can actually make money off the property, it's not an investment. And you gotta remember, legit investments like stocks, crypto, or anything, any type of investment, you don't pay interest on your investment. Some investment you should be receiving interest. You're supposed to be making money off of it, cash flow. Not the other way around. You paying 7% interest on the house, and you think it's an investment. No, it's not an investment. You bought a house because you just want a house. But don't say it's an investment. And at these interest rates, and people got to understand, if you own a house for 30 years, pay on for 30 years, and by the time you paid off the house, you would just pay almost double the value of the house just from the interest alone. And remember, you still got to pay taxes on top of that. So you have people going around saying, oh, I got equity in my house. I was like, no, you paid double for the house by the time you paid it off because of the interest. You actually lost money. So if you bought a $300,000 house and paid interest on it for 30 years, over the life of that loan, you would pay $600K for the house. When you pay it off, and if your house is worth around, let's say it's worth around $350K by the time you pay off your loan, and you're like, oh, I got $350K in equity. No, if you look at the numbers, yes, you have that much in equity, but you didn't make that much. You paid $600K for the house after you paid all the interest rates for 30 years. So people, you got to be careful about houses. Yes, some people have to buy houses because they have children and they have families and they got to grow, so you need the space. But just make sure you can afford the mortgage payment, and make sure you're not overpaying for a house in the wrong market. Again, it's a good time to buy a house, and there's a bad time to buy a house. And don't let these real estate agents fool you and tell you still should buy a house. They have to tell you that because they don't make any money if people are not buying. So be careful out there. Make sure you like and subscribe. I got a lot of good stuff coming. And have a blessed day. I'm out.